I've been very much looking forward to the topic for this.
Is it audible?
Yes, Prabhu.
Thank you.
It's audible. If you can make it full screen, Prabhu.
Yes, Prabhu, I will be doing that.
Visit to Phoenix, the 6 Goswamis of Vrindavan. This, or a variation on the theme of this painting, or this image of the 6 Goswamis with the Govardhan hill in the background, is found on altars in ISKCON all around the world. Because along with our current line of disciplic succession, these 6 are particularly responsible and empowered representatives of Lord Chaitanya for carrying forward the mission and the message. Each of them are uniquely qualified, what to speak of all 6 of them being most wonderful Vaishnavas. We'll hear the details of their lives and their contributions. Each of them were sent by Lord Chaitanya to Vrindavan. Well, Jiva Goswami was sent to Vrindavan by Lord Nityananda, but the others were sent directly by Lord Chaitanya to carry forward his message and his mood and his teachings. So we're going to begin. Here's another nice painting where the 6 Goswamis would come together on a regular basis and discuss Krishna Katha, topics about Krishna. Primarily focused on Srimad Bhagavatam, but pastimes of Krishna and everything Krishna-centered. Amongst the 6, the 2 that were the senior most were Rupa and Sanatan. Sanatan being the elder brother of the 2, and naturally the younger brother, older brother dynamic was the younger brother looked up to and was submissive to the elder brother, as is Vedic culture. But it also has something to do with the nature of Rupa Goswami's humility, his natural humility. He saw his elder brother like a spiritual master and respected him that way and interacted with him in that way. They read each other's writings and critiqued each other's writings and relished topics of Krishna together as if one entity. But we're going to begin with Sanatan Goswami, and we'll hear something about his life and his characteristics. According to Gaura Gaudadesh Dipika, he is sometimes understood to be Rati Manjari or Lavanga Manjari, and Sanatana Kumar was also entered into the body of Sanatana Goswami. Now it's not like he had 3 souls inside one body, it's not like that. But the mood of loving service of each of these personalities were part of his transcendental personality. A vibhuti of those persons, or the bhava of those persons, entered into his life. Most celebrated in the life of Sanatana Goswami was his relationship with Madan Mohan. Here you see a painting. Madan Mohan is being offered some badi. Badi is from the simple way that Sanatana Goswami maintained his life. He didn't have anything. He was living very simply like this. So he would sometimes just have flour and water, mix the two, make it into dough, make the dough into a ball, put the ball into a fire, and the fire would burn the ball. He would break open the burnt part on the outside, and that's what he offered to his deity. Didn't even have a rolling pin or a pan to fry the chapati in. We'll hear some of these pastimes and loving exchanges with his deity. The deity of Madan Mohan, this is one of the prana mantras we recite when we say our Mangala Charana. It's a prana mantra for Madan Mohan, the deity of Sambandha Gyan. Let's say together. Jayatam surato pangor mama manda mater gati mat sarvasva padam bhojo radha madana mohano. Glory to the all-merciful, Sri Radha and Madan Mohan. They are the only shelter of my depraved and crippled self. Their lotus feet are the be-all and end-all of my life. So these deities, Madan Mohan, were the deities of Sanatana Goswami's worship. And he worshipped them in conjunction with this temple. This is not a photograph, it's a British period painting. You see a sadhu sitting there by a tulsi plant. And over by the side of the temple is where Sanatana Goswami would sit. You see in that little faint painting there is his deity as he was writing and worshipping his deity. This temple is up on top of a hill. The hill is known as Dvadasa Aditya because the name came from the pastime of the Kaliya Lila, where Krishna had been wrapped in the coils of Kaliya and dancing on the hoods of Kaliya for the whole day, and his body was cold. So in order to get warm, he went on top of this hill and requested 12 suns simultaneously to shine on him and warm him up. Dwadasa, like Dwadasi. Dwadasha, Aditya, son of Aditi, the sun god. And it's a celebrated structure, beautiful architectural piece, that as soon as one sees this, you know where it is. It's Vrindavan and the home of Madan Mohan. Here's a nice description of Raghunath Das describing his relationship with Sanatana Goswami in a prayer from Bilapa Kusumanjali, where he expressed his appreciation, regard, and obligation to Sanatana Goswami. I was unwilling to drink the nectar of devotional service possessed of renunciation. But Sanatana Goswami, out of his causeless mercy, made me drink it, even though it was otherwise, I was unable otherwise to do so. Therefore he, Sanatana Goswami, is an ocean of mercy. He is very compassionate to fallen souls like me, and thus it is my duty to offer my respectful obeisances unto his lotus feet. Now those of you that like to hear Prabhupada's lectures, you're familiar with this phrase, Paradukha Dukhi. Paradukha Dukhi. In case you wondered where it comes from, this is where it comes from. It's Raghunath Das describing the nature of Sanatana Goswami. Those who are, his unhappiness is the unhappiness of others. Paradukha Dukhi. Now, Raghunath Das is the personification of renunciation, saying, I was unwilling to drink the nectar of devotional service possessed of renunciation. He was drinking it and drinking it and drinking it. But he attributes his drinking it to Sanatana Goswami because of his compassion. And in the purport of that verse, Prabhupada writes, Sri Sanatana Goswami Prabhu, the teacher of the science of devotional service, wrote several books, of which Brihat Bhagavatamrita is very famous. Anyone who wants to know about the subject matter of devotees, devotional service, and Krishna must read this book. That's pretty strong, isn't it? I mean, it's in Chaitanya Charitamrita, and who doesn't want to know about devotees, devotional service, and Krishna? So it's a must-read book. And it's a very wonderful book. Very, very wonderful book. Very amazing book. There's details in this book that just are not found elsewhere. And he's drawing largely from many, many, many Nana, Shastra, Vichara, Naika, Nipuno, from many different scriptures, and piecing it all together and giving us lessons about Krishna and the Srimad Bhagavatam. So, Brihat Bhagavatamrita is one of his principal works. Can you see what you can do to bring that image more in focus on the screen, on the wall? The projector focus, please. There's a little device right on the top that makes it, right on the top by the lens. Yeah. It's not keystone, it's focus. The image. It's not keystone, it's focus. That's the one I'm talking about. Okay. In addition to Brihat Bhagavatamrita, here's some of his other writings. Hari Bhakti Vilas. What's Hari Bhakti Vilas? Hari Bhakti Vilas is it's a how-to manual on all of the Vaishnava activities, how to do deity worship, how to observe Janmashtami, how to the mantras for sannyas, the mantras for Brahminical initiation, how to do everything that has to do with Vaishnava rituals. The next is a commentary on the entire Srimad Bhagavatam. The next is a commentary on the 10th canto of Srimad Bhagavatam. And the next is something to do with the 10th canto of Srimad Bhagavatam. Not exactly a commentary, but describing the pastimes found within the 10th canto of the Bhagavatam. So obviously he likes the Bhagavatam. That's very clear. And he was instructed by Chaitanya Mahaprabhu in the matters that are found in Hari Bhakti Vilas. And we'll hear something as we go further, the relationship between this Hari Bhakti Vilas and Gopal Bhatta Goswami. There is some idea, there's two ideas. He actually wrote the book, or the other idea and consulted Gopal Bhatta. The other is that Gopal Bhatta wrote the book, and asked Sanatana Goswami to put it together in a proper form and not mention his name. That's the other idea. And that's what I grew up hearing. Hari Bhakti Vilas was actually Gopal Bhatta's work, but he wanted Sanatana Goswami to organize it and present it in its final form. So certainly he relied on notes of Gopal Bhatta. And these are his principal writings. A little bit about his life. Like Rupa Goswami, they were born in Saraswat Brahmana family. In one of Rupa Goswami's writings, he traces back their lineage 6 or 7 generations. Their ancestry comes from Karnataka, and there was some kind of disagreement, family dispute, something like that. And so the family started to migrate. They moved east, and then they moved north, and then they moved north. And they ended up in residing in Ramakeli. Now, the other relatives of Sanatan and Rupa were in another place, Chandapur. But Ramakeli was the capital of the Nawab at the time. And they were conscripted into the government service. At least the version that I've heard is amongst all the Vaishnavas in the area under the rule of the king, Sanatan and Rupa were most revered. And Nawab, being very smart, he called them to visit him. They came. And he said, I would like you to be engaged in my government service. And I'll reward you handsomely. I'll give you land and give you wealth and everything. But I want you to help me in very critical ways in my government. And if you don't, then I'll torture and kill and cause difficulty for all the Vaishnavas in my kingdom. Think about it. Tell me which one you want to do. Not exactly in those words, but that was the nature of his offer. And so they didn't want either, but they took his service. This is just meant to be a painting to indicate what they did with the land and the wealth is they created a Vrindavan in Ramakeli on their own property. Here's Govardhan Hill and here's the river Jamuna and so forth and so on. And they were absorbed in Krishna Lila. They engaged brahmanas in reciting the scriptures and giving spiritual teachings. They didn't leave behind their Vaishnava ways and their Brahminical ways, but they also had this unpleasant service of serving under the Nawab. They're about the same age as Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, and they heard about his activities, especially after he had taken sannyas. And so they wrote letters to him, appealing that he somehow grant his shelter and relieve them of this awful service that they didn't want to have anything to do with, and that is the Nawab's government. No replies came back. They continued to send letters anyways. And one day, a puzzle letter came in reply, which read, "Become just like a wife who is attached to another man and will perform her worldly duties to her husband very nicely, so he doesn't suspect. But in her mind, she will always be thinking of the other man, waiting for the chance to meet him." Now, you and I might not understand what that means, but they understood what it meant. They understood that Lord Chaitanya would come in due course of time. For the time being, continue on with your service as if you're into it, but don't be attached to it, and sometime I'll come. So he came. He came with his journey to Vrindavan, because when he had taken sannyas, that's what he wanted to do, but his mother sent him to Puri. From Puri, he went to South India. From South India, he came back to Puri. And then he wanted to go to Vrindavan. And delay after delay after delay, finally he went to Vrindavan, but there were thousands and thousands of people with him. And he didn't go straight to Vrindavan, he went to Navadvip, and then he went further north to Ramakeli, which is the capital of the Nawab. So the Nawab was a little nervous. Like, who's this mendicant with thousands and thousands of followers? Is there some intention to do me some harm? And so he asked one of his ministers. It's right in Chaitanya Charitamrita. And the minister downplayed, oh, he's a mendicant. He's on his way to a holy place. Nothing to worry about. He is nothing, there's no harm for you. Then Nawab asked his personal secretary, we'll hear about this tomorrow evening, Dabir Khas, who is Rupa Goswami, was given the service of the personal secretary of the Nawab. So he asked him, and we'll hear what he said, but basically he minimized. But they were concerned that Nawab is a wild man, he could do anything at any time and hurt anybody, and so they came in the dead of night. Now there's 3 brothers, we only see 2 in the painting, and in Chaitanya Charitamrita it only mentions 2. Whether their 3rd brother Anupam was also there or not at this time, not clear. But there we see the 2 at night. They met with Lord Nityananda and Haridas. They brought him to Lord Chaitanya wherever he was in a secluded place, and they offered nice prayers, which we'll read tomorrow, what they exactly said. And Lord Chaitanya was very moved by their humility and their elevated consciousness. And he said something to the effect, the details we'll get tomorrow.
Hare Krishna. Any comments or any questions from anyone? Sharbari Mataji.
Hare Krishna Prabhu. It's a very nice topic because we are going to know more about the 6 Goswamis. What I liked was the puzzle letter that Chaitanya Mahaprabhu had sent to Sanatana Goswami and Rupa Goswami, and they understood it also. That was a very nice part. And one question I have, where is this Ramakelli? Is it a part of West Bengal or is it nearby Vrindavan, the Nawab's capital? Thank you, Prabhu. Hare Krishna.
Ramakeli is in West Bengal, Mataji. It's near the Bangladesh border.
Okay,
I think
okay.
so.
Thank you, Prabhu. Hare Krishna. So that means, Prabhu, basically Rupa Goswami and Sanatana Goswami, they were Bengalis, that means?
Yes. Yeah.
Yeah. Okay, okay. Thank you, Prabhu. Hare Krishna.
They, Mataji, they were, their ancestors were from Karnataka, and somehow they moved to that part of the Bengal, and then they were serving Nawab Hussain there. But they basically comes from the Saraswat Brahman, Karnataka.
Yes, Prabhu, that was mentioned also in this lecture. That origin was from Karnataka. Thank you,
Yes,
sir.
sir.
Yeah, anybody else?
I just have some things to add.
Yes, Prabhuji. Please continue.
So, Raghuram and Prabhu, are you hearing? Are you part of the call now? You're
Yes, yes, we
live
are
Hare
here?
Krishna,
hearing.
Prabhu. Yes, Prabhu.
Hare Krishna. Yeah. So, one of the things that Maharaj described about the works of Sanatana Goswami was Hari Bhakti Vilas. In the program that you're all conducting at Shobha Chrysanthemum, you uh, might that you are conducting there, and the one which we are doing even in the Narasimha Giridhari Mandir for Vaikuntha Kids Pathashala. We have a handbook or a booklet that I think, at least for the Shobha Chrysanthemum, we printed as a booklet. For VKP, we just took it as a printout as sheets. There, from morning, from waking up onwards, there are a set of verses to be recited, the mood in which it has to be recited, etc. All that is taken from the Hari Bhakti Vilas. It's going in that fashion, Prabhu. So, in that sense, we are following the guidelines of Gopala Bhatta Goswami and Sanatan Goswami there, just so that you get to know where it is coming from, Raghuram. That was one thing. Second, Maharaj quoted one verse here from Chaitanya Charitamrita about from he actually quoted saying that Raghunath Das Goswami expressed his obligation to Sanatan Goswami, and that is actually that verse has been quoted in verse number 203 in Chaitanya Charitamrita, and the verse goes this way: Sanatana Kripai Paino Bhakti Rasiddhanta Sri Rupa Kripaya Paino Bhakti Rasa Pranta. The verse means, by the kripa of Sanatana Goswami, I have received Bhaktira Siddhanta, the principles of devotional service. Sri Rupa Kripai Painu, by the mercy of Rupa Goswami, I have got Bhakti Rasa. What does it mean to have a taste of bhakti in one's devotional life? Just a minute, please. Hold on for a moment. For breakup. Coming back. So if you look at it, there's a section of the Chaitanya Charitamrita which involves Mahaprabhu's teachings to Sanatan Goswami. For those of you who want to be trained very well in devotional service, who may want to accept a guru, etc., there's this book by Srila Prabhupada called Teachings of Lord Chaitanya, where he has summarized these teachings. And even in the Chaitanya Charitamrita in detail, we can go through teachings of Lord Chaitanya to Sanatan Goswami, where he has given the principles of devotional service very, very elaborately. And it's important that we hear it. And we observe something in Sanatan Goswami. He was entrusted with establishing the principles of devotional service. So when we hear Sanatan Kripa Paino Bhaktira Siddhanta, that he had that by Krishnadas Kaviraj Goswami saying that he received the Siddhanta from Sanatan Goswami. The way Sanatana Goswami did was not just by writing a book which just gives principles and principles. He took it in a story form and gave the Brihat Bhagavatamrita. And in that, he within the story or the katha or the pastime, he gave many principles. And one of the first principles that he gives here is he starts that book with the Mangala Charan or the verses invoking auspiciousness for like in praying for the mercy of Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu. And this is important for us if we are trying to follow in the footsteps of Sanatana Goswami on Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu's Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu's movement, which is you find many Vaishnava sampradayas. For example, you have the Sri Sampradaya, you have the Madhva Sampradaya, you have the Hit Harivansh Sampradaya, where we have a very famous sadhu these days. His name is Premanand Maharaj. He also comes from one sampradaya, a Vaishnava sampradaya. You have many sampradayas. Uh, some may be the bona fide, some may be offshoots of another bona fide sampradaya. That is a different discussion altogether. But what sets aside the Gaudi Vaishnava Sampradaya from others is the the intense dependence on Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu as the main source of deliverance. In other words, entrance into the spiritual world is dependent upon the mercy of Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, who has made it accessible to us through the chanting of the holy name and particularly the Hare Krishna Mahamantra. If you go to the Sri Vaishnavas, you will find the Dvaya Mantra. You will also find the Charama Shlokas and you find the Ashtakshari Mantra. You find all those mantras. Does it mean that they are not relevant? No, they are also relevant. Are they not effective? No, they are also effective. Then why is this sampradaya? This sampradaya of Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu is there to give that which nobody else can give, which is love of Radha and Krishna. And this is extremely tough. And that extremely tough thing is being given to people like us in Kali Yuga. And that's why he's called most Mahavadanyaya. And Sanatana Goswami is that carrier of that Mahavadanyaya aspect of Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu. And the reason this is tough, that access to Radha and Krishna is tough, is that if you, like a lot of us went to, or a significant number of us went to Sri Lanka, we heard the pastimes of Rama and Sita. And in the pastimes of Rama and Sita, we hear about how Mother Sita is pining for Lord Rama. She was pining for close to 10 months. She was separated from him for 10 months. And if you see the Bhauma Leela of Krishna, that same thing multiplied by many other factors was the grief experienced by Srimati Radharani and her associates. In Ramayana, you had one Sita who was separated. In the Bhagavatam, you had all the residents of Vrindavan separated for close to 90 plus years. The 10 months here is 90 plus years. So many of us would say, it's so tough. How can the Lord be so cruel? But that, as His Holiness Rumpad Maharaj explained during the yatra, that there is a kind of happiness, there's a kind of bliss which only those who are inside can know. Those who are outside cannot know that. And that is why, that is one of the reasons why accessibility to Radha Krishna's pastimes is tough. Because superficially we think, I do not want to be neglected. I do not want to be rejected. I do not want to be crying. But there is something very deep inside in crying for Krishna. And in that deep crying for Krishna, it starts with crying deeply in while chanting the holy name. And that's why Sanatana Goswami, when he starts the Brihad Bhagavatamrita, there is a very nice verse, Jayati Jayati Nama Nanda Murare. He speaks about how we have to cry to the holy name. I'll post that verse in the group later today after this call. And it's a nice verse that we all can meditate upon before chanting the Mahamantra. And I think Raghuraman Prabhu, you might see in the book that we have given, those verses may be there. I think in that edition of the book, that the booklet that we gave for the children, that set of verses to chant before chanting the holy name, it's present, and they are from, some of them are from Sanatana Goswami's writings. So that's about the the uniqueness or singular value of Sanatan Goswami is that he is giving us access to Radha and Krishna and to Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, so Mahaprabhu, what Mahaprabhu wanted to give to the access of Radha and Krishna, that is coming through Sanatan Goswami. And in this rasa of Radha and Krishna, you will see the same thing between Mahaprabhu and Sanatan Goswami. In that, when Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu went to Ramkeli and Sanatan Goswami was the minister there, it was Sanatana Goswami who advised Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu that you are coming with so many devotees. It is not advisable for you to go to Vrindavan with a huge crowd. Go alone. In other words, when we first and foremost, when we go to a holy place, we don't go to the holy place as a we don't go to the holy place as a master. We, I mean, I should have sent this I should have sent this message before we went to the yatra, but I'm sorry, I was busy at that time. We go to the holy place saying, I'm a beggar. We don't say, I need this, I need that. Give me prasadam, I give me a good room, uh, give me somebody to massage my feet, etc. That's not the mood with which we go to holy place. We are beggars for mercy when we go to holy place, especially yatra. We are beggars for getting opportunities to serve. We are beggars for we beg to the holy name to manifest himself to us during the course of the yatra, and we are beggars to get the mercy of the Dham to reveal itself to us. That's how we approach a yatra. So Sri Sanatan Goswami is advising Mahaprabhu, you are going as if you are a Raja, that you have so many followers who are coming behind you. You have an entourage. That's not the way to go. You may rather go by just going alone. And herein is a problem. Sanatan Goswami is a devotee. Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu is the Supreme Lord. How can a devotee advise the Supreme Lord? And this was the rasa between Sanatan Goswami and Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu. We often see that once there is immense confidence between a guru and a disciple, the guru defers to the disciple. Just like if you can't follow that, you will see sometimes when children grow up, the parents will finally tell the children, the child rather, one of the children, you tell me what to do, I'll do what you say, because they have confidence in the child. Does it mean that the parent doesn't know what to do? Sometimes people think, oh, the parent has become old enough. He doesn't know, his mind is not sharp enough. The child is up to date with the latest stuff, etc. No, rather, what happens is an older parent is very much concerned about utilizing the rest of his life on doing something which is more important, chanting the holy name, doing the puja, maybe serving others, etc. And so, if there are some day-to-day stuff, simple stuff, they'll just sort of tell it to the children, and whatever the child says, they'll do it because a parent has a confidence that my child is here to do the best for me. He has love and affect. He or she has love and affection for me. In a similar way, when the relationship between the disciple and the spiritual master transitions to a level of trust where one knows you are there for me, then they give themselves freely. It doesn't mean that the spiritual master will do fully whatever is there at the bidding of the disciple, but that's a manifestation of the trust and of the dynamic or of the deep quality of love in the relationship. It's not about I am greater than you. You tell me what you like. I'll be your mouthpiece. I'll do whatever you want. That's what sometimes the guru tells the disciple. And that is how Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu was advised to Sanatana Goswami, and following in his footsteps, other acharyas did the same. Srila Prabhupada did the same thing. Many times he would ask Tamal Krishna Maharaj, what do you all devotees say when he was a secretary, when Tamal Krishna Goswami Maharaj was a secretary? What do you all say? And Tamal Krishna Maharaj would very respectfully say, these are our considerations. If you'd like, you can consider it. And Prabhupada would say, yes, let's go with what you say. So these are some of the thoughts on today's discussion. That's it. Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you, Prabhu. Hare Krishna.
Thank you so much for
Thank you,
sharing.
Prabhu. I like what you said about the mood setting for yatra.
Yeah,
I've
yeah.
learned it before. Thank you. But anyway, next time I will take care of it. Thank you, Prabhu.
Yeah, sorry. I couldn't tell it. I should have done that on October 10th. I'm telling it now. Sorry.
There, I will take care of it. Thank you.
Yeah. Thank you, Prabhu. I think it's 7:12. We will end the session for today. We'll continue from tomorrow. Vanchakalpatarubhyasya कृपा सिन्धुभ्यैव च पतितानां पावनेभ्यो वैष्णवेभ्यो नमो नमः. अनंत कोटि वैष्णव वृंद की जय. His Holiness Rompa Maharaj ki jai. Hare Krishna.
Thank you, Prabhu. Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna.